Hi guys, you would imagine that a motivation to become a doctor is to save lives. And even if that doctor becomes a politician, they will still hold on to that belief. That doesn't always appear to be the case, and I can only presume Dr. Caroline Johnson, who is an NHS consultant, seems more interested in keeping her party on life support than putting the well-being of patients first. She stood up in the House of Commons on Monday and talked about minimum service levels. Minimum service levels during strikes. Now, as she's a consultant, I can't buy the argument that she doesn't understand what she's talking about. But I'm more inclined to believe that she's lying on behalf of her party. Absolutely disgraceful behaviour. Have a listen.
Dr. Speaker, I declare my interest as a member of the BMA and as an NHS consultant who has worked during the industrial action. Make no mistake that these strikes are causing suffering to patients, both adults and children. The derogation process has not worked because, as the Secretary of State says, the BMA have not returned junior doctors to work when they've been asked to, when there has been a risk of dangerous harm to patients. The first duty of any government is to protect its citizens. So when will the Secretary of State bring forward the minimum service levels to protect the patients from these dangerous strikes?
Secretary of State.
Well, may I first of all thank very sincerely my honourable friend. I was in contact with her over the weekend as she had come off a very long shift in emergency care, looking after patients locally, and I have nothing but admiration for her and the many other people who have stepped in at short notice to cover urgent and emergency care.
Okay, I've heard enough. What is she talking about here? She's talking about minimum service levels. You can't have minimum service levels if you don't have enough staff. This is why many of the doctors and junior doctors are on strike at the moment. This is why many nurses were on strike. Because there aren't enough staff. This is ridiculous. Beyond ridiculous. And you have an NHS consultant sitting in the House of Commons talking about how we need to have minimum service levels. She understands you can't have them if you don't have the staff. Why is this so... No, I can't say why is this so difficult to understand, because she does understand this. She's being dishonest here. Bringing in minimum service levels. Ridiculous. You can have them if you have the staff. If you don't have the staff, then you can't have these minimum service levels. This is about shifting responsibility once again from the government to the workers, to the NHS staff in this case, the junior doctors. Let's punish the junior doctors because they're on strike. Why are they on strike? Why does nobody ever ask that question? Why are they on strike? Over pay and conditions. If they don't get the right pay, we're talking about £15 an hour in many cases. £15 an hour for a junior doctor. And let's not go down that road of thinking that they're medical students or something. These are qualified doctors. £15 an hour. They can't work with this type of pay, and the conditions are getting worse and worse. More and more are leaving. That means more and more of a workload on those who remain. And the response from the Tories, let's add an extra level of pressure, a minimum service level. There isn't a minimum, you can't implement a minimum service level because you don't have the staff. Sorry to repeat myself, but this needs to be drummed into people's minds. And the fact that you have an NHS consultant sitting in the House of Commons regurgitating this ridiculous line about minimum service levels is beyond ridiculous and offensive to patients. She should be standing side by side with these junior doctors. She understands what they're going through. She's not some backbench MP who has no idea. She's there in the thick of it. And she's, of course, defending the party, going with the party line. An absolute disgrace. This is pretty strong language. I understand that. Strong allegations. But how can you be a doctor? Let's park the fact that she's a consultant. First of all, she's a doctor. How can she look patients in the eye and say, I'm fighting for you, I'm trying to help you. But at the same time, she's in the back of her mind, I need to protect the party first. We need to put the party in first place. The priority is protecting the Conservative Party, not patients, not doctors, not nurses, not the NHS. The first priority is the party. I don't know whether she'll lose her seat at the next election. I think she deserves to lose her seat because her priority is not her patients, it seems. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.